This is Secretary of State Blinken about China and trying to not get in their way, not holding China back. That sounds great. By 35.
When it comes to China, we've been very clear that, we're not trying to contain China or hold it back, but we are determined to uphold the so-called rules-based international order that we've invested so much in over so many decades, and that has been good for us and good for the world, and I think even good for China.
They manipulate currency.
Oh my gosh!
The
that's
IP,
a whole program right there.
The IP concerns. I mean, the intellectual property they steal. They manipulate currency. They are committing genocide, which the Biden administration did continue.
They still have one of our clients in prison in jail for
they're
Christian
human
pastors.
rights abusers.
Yeah.
And they're not. I mean, but they're in a huge country.
They're funding Iran. They're funding half of the radicalism in Africa. And on top of all this, he uses the words, "We're not going to contain them or hold them back." Well, then what are we going to do actually?
And how have these rules-based international order done anything?
First of all,
what does that even mean?
We know international law, and
that's not even international law. He's talking about rules-based international order we've invested in so much. I mean, they still manipulate currency. They still don't abide by any of the climate rules. They are still moving forward.
They don't abide by the trade agreements.
Nope, they invade Taiwan, Hong Kong.
Here's my question for Than. Okay, so we've got an entire United States Congress, and admittedly the Republicans are in the minority here. You got China manipulating currency, committing genocide. I mean, and we've got an attitude of we're not going to contain or hold them back. That's by the way, that's showing strength. We're not going to contain them or hold them back. What are we going to do? Just come on in and take over the rest of the country. But what Congress, I mean, I know the Republicans are a minority. They still have a voice, though, because in the Senate it's equally divided. There are things that can be done here, I would think.
Yeah, it's time to call them in and ask these questions of them, especially when it comes to security clearance. Here's what I think, though, Jay. I mean, think back to the Obama administration when the policy actually was containment. As bad as that was the policy under the Obama administration. That soundbite that you just played from Secretary Blinken, apparently we've abandoned even an effort to contain. So I guess what are we going to do? We're going to propel China into the next century as the next world superpower?
Listen,
maybe that's the policy.
Well, they're planning on being the superpower, but how about this one? Does genocide fall under the rules of based international order to Secretary Blinken? That's Will Haynes just put that in the comment section here. It's a good question. I mean, is that how we view it? I mean, they're one of the largest human rights abusers in the world is the Communist Party of China. And we are saying, Andy, we're not going to hold them back. We're not going to contain them. I can't even believe Secretary Blinken said that.
That's a pretty outrageous statement.
Unreal.
The Uyghur Muslim communities in China and Xinjiang province are being persecuted. The Christian population is being persecuted. The persecutions, and they're lecturing us in Alaska on our own territory about racism, and we sit there and we take it.
Yeah.
We listen to it. We absorb it. We don't walk away and tell them to take a walk. But then we say we're not going to contain them. What do you mean you're not going to contain them? What kind of an American Secretary of State are you? What kind of American interests are you championing? I submit none.